Money Max account compares to conventional banking strategies. So, in order to know how we compare, not how we compete, because we annihilate them, but let's take a look at what other banking strategies there are out there. The most famous one that we've all heard preached to us from the rooftops is the snowball. This is what Dave Ramsey teaches. And so here's how the snowball works. You're going to list all of your debts from the smallest to the largest, regardless of interest rate. Then you're going to make minimum payments on all of your debts, except for the smallest one. And you're going to throw as much money as you can on that smallest debt until it's gone. Then take what you were paying to the smallest debt, add it to the payment on the next smallest debt until it's gone, and repeat until each debt is paid in full and you are completely debt free. So as you knock down these debts one by one, the amount of money that you have to throw at the rest of the debt grows. That's kind of like a snowball rolling down a hill, hence the name Snowball. And the excitement that you get from paying off your debts super quick will motivate you to keep plowing through your debt all the way through to the finish line. So friends, that is the debt snowball. Now let's take a look at the debt avalanche. In contrast to the snowball, the avalanche method focuses on paying the loan with the highest interest rate first. Similar to the snowball method, when the higher interest debt is paid off, you take the money that went toward that account and apply it to the next highest interest rate, and so on until you are done. Now there's what we call the middle method. The middle method, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's just somewhere in the middle of the snowball and the avalanche. Now, this strategy does not prescribe how to pay off the debt specifically. You just simply pay down the balances on all your cards, all at the same time. Okay, you just put a little extra on all of it. This is best for people who feel that they need to make a dent in all of their credit cards account, even if the process is slower than the snowball and less strategic than the avalanche. Next, we have what we call a balance transfer. Now, the balance transfer, you guys, I'm sure every single one of you, if you went out to your mailbox right after training, it's going to be full of balance transfer offers. I probably get 5 of them every single day, promising low interest rates for people who move old balances to a new card. Well, this may prove to be a good solution if you have high debt and high interest rates. It's important to read the fine print. Many balance transfers only offer a low interest rate for a limited period of time, or they charge a transfer fee that could offset the savings in interest. So be sure to read the fine print. After that, we have debt consolidation. And debt consolidation is when you take out a single loan to pay off several existing loans. This could be a good way of taking control of your finances, but again, you need to be careful. A consolidation loan may not always be your best option. Now we have debt settlement. You guys, debt settlement is dangerous and it will destroy your credit. Okay? With debt settlement, your creditor agrees to accept less than what's owed, but may not get the payment for a while, as you put money into an escrow account until it accumulates a large enough balance to pay the agreed sum. Now we're talking about velocity banking. You guys, you realize we introduced velocity banking to this country back in 2004. There are a lot of companies that preach velocity banking right now. So what is velocity banking? Well, I want to define velocity. Velocity means accelerated. It means speed. It means movement. Remember, banks are smart and they understand and use a concept called no stagnant money. If you are using velocity banking, your money is moving, okay? So velocity banking is leveraging a line of credit, an advanced line of credit, such as a HELOC, that's a home equity line of credit, a BLOC, which is a business line of credit, a PLOC, which is a personal line of credit, against your primary mortgage or any other amortized loan to rapidly eliminate large chunks of amortized interest on a mortgage or another amortized loan. Lines of credit are not amortized during the initial draw period. Typically, it's 10 to 20 years, and they are open-ended loans versus a closed-end mortgage. Boy, we still have people coming in. So guys, I've got to ask you a crazy question. I ask this question every week. Would you ever borrow $5,000 at 10% on a line of credit and use it to pay down $5,000 on a $400,000 mortgage with a 6% APR? So what I'm asking you is, would you use 10% money to pay off 6? That's crazy, right? Nope, not crazy at all. In fact, it's extremely smart and strategic. And friends, every single Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain, I do a corporate presentation for you and your prospective clients that shows in detail, month by month, blow by blow, using a line of credit to leverage against a mortgage and other debts. Those meetings are in uffwebroom.com. So now that we've talked about the other conventional banking methods to eliminate debt, let's talk about, what does the MMA provide? Well, friends, the Money Max Account program provides a pure mathematical dynamic action plan that utilizes all of the previous debt payoff strategies except the debt settlement method, which is the method that destroys your credit. The MMA is actually going to build your credit, okay? Because it is going to decrease your loan to value. It's going to increase your ability to pay. Your debt to income ratio is going to get better. By using your MMA, you actually improve your FICO score. Plus, the MMA uses factorial math. You've heard me say that the MMA program has 4.5 million lines of code, that it includes complex mathematical equations and algorithms and advanced financial strategies and factorial math, which was created by mathematical engineers, and it is the most complex math on the planet. And I know when we say that, some of you guys scratch your head and you're like, well, what the heck is factorial math? Well, let's start talking about what a factorial is. A factorial in mathematics, it's the product of all positive integers less than or equal to a given integer and denoted by that integer and an exclamation point. Thus, the factorial 7 is written 7 exclamation point, which means 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 times 6 times 7. Factorial 0 is defined or equal to 1. And you're like, gee, Di, thanks, that helped a lot. I know it didn't. Let's continue. Some of you might not even remember what an integer is because it's been a minute since any of us have been in high school. So let's define an integer. An integer is a number that is not a factor. It's not a fraction. It's a whole number. It's complete in and of itself. So what a factorial math is, in simple terms, is you write out all whole numbers from 1 to whatever number it is, and then you multiply them together. For example, factorial 5 is 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5, which would work it out on your calculator to 120. So, you guys, we are building on this. This is going to be important, so pay attention. We brought up a factorial calculator here. If you put in 6 and compute the factorial, if there are just 6 factors, there's 720 different sequences. Now let's take a look at 7 fact. Now there are 5,040 potential combinations. 8 factorial, now we're at 40,320 potential combinations. 9, we're at 362,880. And 10, we have 3,628,800 possible sequences and scenarios to choose from. What am I getting at? You guys, factorial math is a great big jigsaw puzzle. And is it just the number of deaths? If somebody has 6 different deaths, does that mean there's 720 possible combinations? Oh no, my friend, there's not a lot more, because each element, each piece in a financial equation is a factor. And each debt has 5 factors: the amount owed, the available credit, how much of the payment is going towards principal versus interest, the due date, and the length of the loan. Plus, a person's income is also a factor. How often they get paid is a factor. Their monthly expenses is a factor. And when they are due, those are all factors. Each element in a financial equation is a factor. So how much discretionary income they have left over at the end of each month, how detailed they budget their expenses, when each of their expenses are due, how closely they adhere to their budget each month. Do they have stable income? Do they have irregular income? These are all factors. So let's take a look at a Money Max account, and let's start counting factors. Here we have a checking and a savings account. Is that 2 factors? No, because we have an interest rate, we have a balance, we have another interest rate and another balance. So we're at 4. Now let's look at the American Express. Oh my gosh, now we're at 5. We have an interest rate. Oops, I clicked ahead too fast. Go back. We have our interest rate, 5. We have our balance, 6. We have an available balance, 7. We have a payment, 56. So that's 8. We have a due date, that's 9. Then we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. We're not even done yet. And remember how many potential combinations there were for just 10? We're already up to 27. Oh, we have a mortgage, 28, 29, 30, 31. We have a HELOC, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Oh my gosh, we've got income, 37, 38. We have frequencies, 39, 40. Do you get the picture? When we say there's enough mathematics going on behind the scene to melt your brain, there are millions of combinations all being played against each other, and there's only one fastest mathematical way to 0. Do you really think you could do any of this on your own? If you do, you're delusional. Okay? So what makes the MMA program uniquely powerful? It takes all of these factors into consideration. In addition to the mathematical algorithms and equations when calculating each user's unique action plan. Plus, it's always changing, it's evolving. Each time a person makes a purchase, pays an expense, makes a payment on one of their debts, the program is instantly recalculating. Do you realize that? If they pay more for their groceries, their gas, and their utilities than they did last month, the program recalculates automatically. If they get a promotion or a raise, it recalculates. If they lose their job, it recalculates. The program adjusts. If you have a baby, it recalculates. If you add to your budget, it recalculates. If they take an unexpected trip, it recalculates. The MMA adjusts. Each time you get paid, get a bonus, a tax refund, a gift, each time you have an unexpected expense, the program adjusts. If you trade in your car and get a new car, guess what? The program adjusts. Each time a debt is paid off, the program adjusts. It recalculates. The MMA program is dynamic. That might be another word we need to define. What is dynamic? That is something that is characterized by constant change. activity, or progress. You guys, the MMA is alive. This is why the company has invested over $21 million plus 21 years, countless man hours, and over 4.4 million lines of code that include complex mathematical equations, algorithms, advanced financial strategies, and factorial math. All of that has gone into this system. That's why no one else has been able to beat our program. We've got a 21-year head start. No one can achieve these results on their own, and that is why the Money Max account is worth every penny someone invests into purchasing their lifetime access and support. And oh my gosh, guys, speaking of support, how many companies do you know that answer their phone within the first 2 or 3 rings, provide immediate help and support, and it's A+ support, along with all future upgrades you get for free? You heard Don talking about things that are coming in the pipeline towards the end of this year. You get those upgrades for free. How many companies do you know who provide live coaching for their clients? The consumer with 25, 30, okay, how many products, or services provide the consumer with 25, 50, and even 100 times more in return than they cost? You guys, the average cost of the MMA is $4,000. The average savings is hundreds of thousands of dollars. Do you get that kind of investment on your smartphone? Okay, the MMA can save people as much as $300,000 and pay them off in as little as 5 to 7 years. Does your home appreciate as much over that short of a period of time? I don't think so. By far, the MMA is the smartest investment anyone could make in their entire lifetime for their financial future and for their family's financial future. It is a 24/7 smart financial guidance system that never fails. It's always working for the consumer, and it's in the consumer's best interest. No one on the planet has what we have.